We are at the South Dakota Air and Space Museum, just a little bit outside Rapid City at Eglin Air Force Base, where they do missile training and have, I think, bombers here, B-2, B-52. We'll learn more as we go. Lots of retired aircraft and rockets out here in front of the museum. They say about half the tour is just walking around outside reading about all the planes. I just knocked you off the sidewalk, didn't I?
Just trying to get away from you.
You're in the video whether you like it or not. Correction, I think I said Eglin Air Force Base. This is Ellsworth in memory of Brigadier General Richard Ellsworth. They have a military function set up here. They said we're free to roam around it, but just don't mess with the displays. Video in here reviewing a lot of the Vietnam War and Iraqi War, South Korean War, and the roles that were played here.
You what?
So many things I can touch and switch buttons and push buttons. Gauges.
It's not a Prius.
It's not a Prius.
I bet a Prius turns better though.
Here we're talking about this technology.
All right, what are you seeing?
Well, there's toggle switches. This is what they would call a digital control. It turns little turnstiles.
So what
There's my
years
fuel
would
tank.
this have been?
What's that?
What years would this?
It looks like to me 50s.
Oh, wait a minute. Here we are on the side.
Stuff that we would have flown in Vietnam or Korea.
It's an F-06 all-weather.
Wow, I've got triggers on it.
Man, that's impressive. Oops, sorry. I zoomed in on you. Okay. Have fun flying.
And now it's Susan's turn in the simulator.
So this stuff is not really part of the plane. This stuff, you are seriously sitting here with your nose right on the edge of the plane while you're flying.
That's right.
Which is crazy.
F-106. And it says danger, ejection seat. This is a display in the big picture of all the parts of the Dakotas that participated in the missile programs. And they have an actual model of the underground area. Missile procedure training, all the equipment they had that was underground, as depicted in this cutaway. And this is what the missile silo looks like. And there is a missile silo from the top, command center from the top. And that's what they look like when they launch. We are now in the other wing. There's two wings to this museum. So we're roughly halfway done. So this section is dedicated to early flight. This is an early female pilot named Nellie. And they have pictures of all the early flying machines and World War I aircraft. This section is a tribute to remote sensing technology developed by NASA and the United States Geological Society under the leadership of this man who was Stuart Udall. 1966, he was Secretary of the Interior under Lyndon Johnson, and using satellite technology to sense images and heat and radioactivity and all kinds of different sensors to map not only the surface but things under the surface as well. This is an F-16 Fighting Falcon simulator. So there's a line to get in that one, so I'm not sure we're going to do it. 3 large screen TVs to what you're seeing, and there's a man in there training them how to do it. This is a simulator for the B-1 bomber. Simulates the offensive systems operator, the OSO, and the defensive systems operator, DSO, and the B-1B radar navigation and weapons delivery systems. And there's a cockpit display around the corner. And here is the aforementioned cockpit display, and my wife on the other side. Simulates the pilot and co-pilot positions. This is the Stinson L5 Centennial, was developed for military use from the commercial Stinson 105 Voyager in 1942. So these were used in World War II. Looks like bare minimum for doors and windows and space for one pilot and one, I guess, assisting officer of some kind. Oh, they have models of smaller ones in there as well. Here's a display on expeditionary combat support. It opens up with a bomb disposal robot. A 175-pound person can ride on it.
Look at the size of the bomb disposal suit.
Yes, and there's the EOD suit in case the bomb goes off while you're trying to defuse it.
Man, these guys
Wow, gas masks of all kinds. Alarms. MREs, meals ready to eat. Floridians know about those because of hurricanes. Wow, that one's
intense.
definitely reflecting the heat and light. Civil engineers. Okay, quick tour of the planes. This is an F-100A Super Sabre. And this is the B-25 Mitchell. This was General Eisenhower's ride. Propeller planes. World War II. F-102 Delta Dagger. Partners in the Cold War for the Air National Guard. And here is another Air Force plane, the F-101B Voodoo, also Cold War era. F-86H Sabre was one of the Air Force's first jet fighters, so no propellers on this one. Look at that air intake on the front. Propeller cargo plane, the C-47 Skytrain, World War II era. So he's a big boy. Carry a lot of weight. This is the A-26A, or also the B-26K, Counter Invader. It would fly at night, and the darkness would hide the plane until the bombs dropped. That's how the enemy knew they arrived. This is the EB-57B Canberra, known as the friendly enemy. This would pretend to be a Soviet plane, and it would fly in trying to sneak in on the borders. It would jam signals, it would throw out chaff so that our boys could practice what it's like to detect and pursue and target enemy aircraft. This is the C-131D Samaritan. During World War II, there was no such thing as overnight delivery, so many Air Force stations and bases had their own supply delivery planes. Today it's a lot cheaper just to do it commercially, so they don't need this kind of thing anymore, but that's what we needed back in World War II. This is the T-33A Shooting Star, the first jet trainer, and you can see the captain's name, and I guess he has sort of a mascot emblem painted on there. This is Captain Paul Karstens with some kind of angry cat. P-84F Thunderstreak, Cold War. This was used with our European allies. Helicopter UH-1F Iroquois for rescuing in both war and in peacetime. The O2A Skymaster, multitasking helicopter, not helicopter, looks like a propeller plane, small, compact, used for, I guess when all the other specialized aircraft are in use, this one can do something, various tasks. F-105B Thunder Chief. Pilots took off in 105s to bomb targets in North Vietnam in the 1960s.
It's both of those planes. This one over here on the left, I'm very proud of myself, is a U-3A Blue Canoe and a U-8D Seminole on the right. Common, convenient, and discreet. Small transport planes were a common sight on the Air Force and Army airfields. I'm reading very nicely.
Yes, you are.
Quickly transported all kinds of passengers and light cargo, an expensive way to keep up their skills. In the 60s, the little Seminole, which is left, served the U.S. Army.
Right. Seminole's on the right.
Oh, you're right.
It's
I
okay.
don't read well. Served the U.S. Army guarding West Berlin.
Oh.
Cool. The garrison, called the Berlin Brigade, included a small aviation section that patrolled the Berlin Wall by air. There you go.
There it is.
There you go, little plane. And
Go,
we saw a
little-
piece of the Berlin Wall in there.
We did see a piece of Berlin Wall inside. This is the A-7D Corsair II. It is a big little bomb carrier, a lot smaller than its B-1 bomber colleague, but it could pack a whole lot of smaller bombs and deliver them to lots of places. You can see they were part of the Fighting Lobos by the emblem that's there. This was piloted by Lieutenant Colonel G.A. Rathburn. This is the YT-38 Talon, the beloved plane amongst pilots, because for over 50 years pilots would train to do supersonic, that's faster than the speed of sound, flight. They would fly in the front with the instructor flying in the second seat. So, fun plane, 50 years of supersonic flight. Chuck Yeager, thank you for breaking the sound barrier. This is a FB-111A Aardvark. It was a different kind of stealth. It would read radar in the land ahead and then feed that into autopilot and fly at like 200-foot altitudes, very, very low, so it would keep the enemy from being able to detect them. This is the HGM-25A Titan I, the earliest missile in the Cold War. We put it together thinking the Soviets had a better rocket technology for delivering nuclear weapons, so they were installed here in South Dakota, and from 62 to 65 they were the Guardians, the first missiles that were manned underground in completely supplied independent facilities so men could live down there in case there was a nuclear war. It served as a bomb shelter. This was replaced by the Titan IIs and by 1965 later by the more reliable Minuteman missiles. You may recognize this as the B-1B Lancer, built for the 21st century. It was originally built to fight the Soviets in the Cold War, but it's become very effective in the war against terrorism in the early 2000s, finding terrorists that were hiding in hard to get to places and dropping powerful bombs on them. Here are some photographs of that bomber and the Libya mission in 2011, the 28th Bomb Wing going in there to handle business. This is the B-29 Super Fortress. Theodore Roosevelt said, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." In 48, the Soviet Union stopped ground traffic to West Berlin, and the U.S. and its allies showed their resolve by continuing to supply food and supplies for the next 15 months into the Eastern Berlin folks and the East Germany people. So these B-29s were useful for carrying that in and out. This is the E-135A Airborne Launch Control System. crammed with electronics. One of these would fly out from Ellsworth and be ready for takeoff at any moment. From 1970 to 1991, if an attack happened that disrupted our ground control systems to our regular missiles, they could launch missiles from this aircraft upon the President's order. This is the B-52D Strato Fortress. Navigating in the dark. It's got room for pilots and bombardiers and enough space for fuel that it doesn't have to refuel on long distance journeys unless it's halfway across the globe. This is the C-54D Skymaster, the candy bombers. This was used during World War II to drop little parachute packages with candy in them for the children on the west side of Germany. They quickly letting them know that the Allies were friendly and here to help them, and it won over the hearts of the Germans. There is Ellsworth Air Force Base, spread out with all the many office buildings and various other things they do at a classified Air Force base, including having their own water tower so they can be self-sufficient. A couple more tidbits about Ellsworth Air Force Base. It's been a guardian of the north part of the United States since 1941, and there was a fatal crash in 1953 of Brigadier General Richard Ellsworth of a B-36 here at this base. There's a picture here of Dwight Eisenhower dedicating the new name to Ellsworth to remember his leadership for those 3 years that he led here. And there's a giant hangar that houses the planes. Here's throughout the Black Hills unwavering support for the base and its mission. And there are two planes that are missing, and all the ones we've just looked at, the B-17 Flying Fortress and the B-36 Peacemaker. Crews flew the Colossal Peacemaker. If I'm reading these signs right, this is the LGM-30F Minuteman II missile. This is a land-based version of that. It's much, much smaller. Either one can carry a nuclear warhead. And the third kind of delivery, which is not shown here, is a submarine. I think there's a picture there when you launch nuclear weapons from submarines. And then down here we have a cargo plane, general utility plane. Most pilots trained on this plane, and it was used just to carry stuff from place to place, like cameras or passengers that needed a quick ride from one place to another, and supplies. And that is it. That completes our tour of the planes of the Strategic Command at South Dakota Air and Space Museum, where they have retired all these planes that used to fly here, except for a couple, as mentioned before.
Entering Badlands again. Yay. I forgot what we're doing. The door extension, castle hike maybe. Stargazing maybe if there's no cloud, but there's a lot of haze in the horizon from Colorado wildfires, so stargazing may be kind of sad. Okay.
We are at the end of the boardwalk, the beginning of the sand and rock portion of the wall, no, the door.
The door and the wall.
Walk, we're inside the wall. These beautiful baddest of the Badlands. There's where we came from. Walked across a little rough terrain there, and there's where we're headed. So we are traversing across this crazy terrain from yellow pole to yellow pole. That's how we keep track of where we are. There's the next one for me. We're headed to where that family is up there. All from, there's the distance we've traveled so far. Here comes Susan through the maze. So what do you think of this place?
This is really fun. I would get lost if there weren't those little yellow poles.
Yes, I am at the pole. I always make sure you can see the next pole. Okay, the boardwalk is somewhere over in that vicinity. See people in the distance and people in the foreground. We have come to the end of the trail. There's lots of dimensionality here in these canyons, culminating with that end of trail sign right there. We'll take a peek from there next. I am standing at the end of the trail, as you can see. All right. There is the beautiful view.
Up their territory we go.
This is just a little bit beyond the end of the trail. Up to the edge. Looks down that way. And there's Susan talking to the ranger. How's the beautiful view over there?
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah. You're in quite a position there.
Yeah, not something you can hike down into.
No, the first step's a doozy. After that, it's pretty easy.
But the little bighorn sheep would have fun.
That's true. They were amazing walking on the cliffs, the walls. All right, this is an experiment. See if we can do a video selfie. There we go. No, we're in there. I see us.
I can't see because I got the sun.
There's a little bit of skyline there. And you can see, oh, I'm going to the prettier part, but it's right into the sunshine. So come back over here.
It still hurts.
There we go. I'm doing it with one eye closed. That's going to look great.
For a photo, you can just go, I'll open it for a second. For the video, it's like, no way.
Yeah, okay. All right, bringing it back in. And there's us. Phew.
My eyes hurt.
Give me a kiss. Have you?
And we're not on the Empire State Building getting
It's true.
proposed.
We have finished the Door Trail and have taken the old Northeast Highway, which is a gravel road, out because we thought there might be some animals out here. Don't see any. But we also were looking to check out the Cathedral Trail, Castle Trail, sorry, Castle Trail. It connects to this road before it goes over to some beautiful views. We are at the Burns Basin Overlook, which is another crazy set of a canyon. Susan was just commenting, you know, a mountain you see from miles away, a canyon can just sneak up on you. One minute you're in prairie land, like over there on the other side of our car, and the next thing you know, you're looking at a crazy canyon. We are at Homestead Overlook as we're heading towards the entrance to the park. Bypass Pinnacle and go do some more of the park that we didn't get to 2 days ago. This is gorgeous. We are at the Kanata Basin Overlook, just short of the Yellow Mountain Overlook that we looked at yesterday, or 2 days ago rather. For those of you that watched that video. And we're continuing to press on westward. We are at the Ancient Hunters Overlook, where I guess there's evidence that there were people here hundreds of years ago hunting.
You watch bison drift like a dark cloud shadow across the prairie.
We are at Pinnacles Overlook, and there's some more bighorn sheep grazing on the cliff. They love coming out and I think it's a mountain goat. See two of them. There is Susan up by the road by the stop sign here at the Pinnacles Overlook. I've come down a little further. The goats have gone away. They said there was a baby, but apparently I missed it.
Oh, you're getting it much better. Oh, poor little thing. I'm not sure they can get to him from there.
You guys okay? Yeah. Oh, they're calling the sunglasses. There it comes.
See you guys at home.
No, he's going to the shop.
Even further deep the hole goes.
Sorry, I feel like you were saying something interesting.
Here I am catching Susan taking some pictures. What are your thoughts of this Pinnacles place?
It's gorgeous. We saw mountain goats or bighorn sheep. They weren't rams, they were bighorn sheep. But I don't know how they can walk on these edges. They were right below us.
Yeah, I did catch up with the little baby, and he was having trouble going down
I
like
never saw the little baby.
So I'll show you the video later. We have turned down Sage Rim Road, and there is a buffalo sitting here just off the road. There was one dude about 20 feet in front of him with a camera. I'm thinking what he might do if he got charged, but he didn't. He's wagging his tail. That means what it means in dog language. It means he likes you. He likes hanging out in this beautiful Pinnacle area. We just passed the Pinnacle entrance and are doing this westward wing of the park. We are at the Overlook. Take a closer look at sunshine coming through that rain cloud up ahead. We are approaching sunset pretty quickly. A little hole in the cloud there. Some light shining down. The camera's probably not doing justice for it, but it's pretty gorgeous. We are at Roberts Prairie Dog Town. I hear some prairie dogs barking in the background. Yep, there was one. Go that direction. See if we can find some. A close-up of their home. One of them's home. We are at Sage Creek Basin Overlook. This is the penultimate stop before you get out of the park. The last will be Sage Creek Basin itself. It's at the end of the day. Time to get ready for bed. So gather up with your favorite family and friends. scrape his winter coat off on one of these posts right by our car. So we're keeping the car between him and us. And hopefully he just sits there and enjoys that scratch while we get in our car and leave. Mr. Buffalo. Here's a lone bighorn sheep on the side of the road. Just hanging out, not even looking our way. Oh, he's thinking about eating now, huh? Oh, what's his skin's been shedding. Okay.
Stop.
I want to get him. I need a little more, a couple more feet. Okay.
My goodness, dude. I'm sorry.
There's a deer bouncing along across the road. There he goes. Trip trot, trip trot, trip trot, trip trot. Leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds. There he goes. On his merry way. See you guys. There is another bighorn getting a little snack on the side of the road as we're heading back to the amphitheater for the star talk and stargazing. Hopefully we'll get to see the Milky Way tonight, although it's kind of hazy out there. Anywho, bighorn, thank you for letting us observe you eating dinner. Good night. There's a couple more.
Oh my
Are
goodness.
these the goats?
Should I pet? He's coming right up that
He
chute.
is. He's thinking there might be food here. But seeing that I'm not gesturing, he knows all I'm doing is taking pictures.
Families that were doing it, but it was also extremely popular for a lot of people who were disenfranchised in the East in the United States that could find a little bit of agency out here. And so some of those groups included single women and also Black Americans. We're not too far from Sully County here, which is home to the Sully County Black American homesteading community that had over 8,000 acres of land that was all owned by Black Americans. Are you looking at the lightning, Ed? Everyone's got to eat. It's one of our best tools to kind of piece together places and think about how we are existing in spaces and learn about them through the food that we eat or the food that has existed here historically. It's a really cool common thread that all people have.
What it is with people's obsession with space dairy. These are stars. They're too far away to see. We just see the glow they all make together. It's like when you're too far away from a city, you don't see all the individual lights, you just see the glow they make, right? So all these dots of light that we see, these are still Milky Way stars, but it's like you're driving into the storm and these are the raindrops on your windshield. These are our neighbor stars in the Milky Way. It's never going to look this good to your eye. This is from a camera that takes a long exposure, kind of soaks in that light. But we should be able to point it out. Oh, dang it, the clouds have really moved in on us.
Shoot.
What's going on here? What's this?
Galaxy.
It's not the Milky Way.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
spiral
going to refresh some memory here. Space. From one end of this galaxy to the other, it's about 600 million billion miles. I have no idea what that means. We've used light to give us smaller numbers. So if we were traveling at the speed of light, this distance, it would take about 100,000 years to get from one end to the other. I still don't quite get that either. There's a great model we can use to help you understand the Milky Way and your place in it. They're really easy to find. They fit in your pocket. They cost about 25 cents. It's a United States quarter. The quarter is almost the same thickness to diameter ratio as the Milky Way. Even though we're thicker at the center where George Washington's earwax is, but we can ignore that for this. You'll ever see with the naked eye. So all the dots of light you see there in your clearest, darkest skies, they all fit inside that little O. Aren't so big now, are you? That's where you live. That's how big you aren't. Feel free to use this coin trick anytime you like. I don't own this. Sound really smart, impress your friends, family, and loved ones, and give them an existential crisis at the same time. It's a whole lot of fun.